that it's been a few days since I lost my mother. It's been um, about 2.5 months, or a little more than 2.5 months since I lost my mother. And somehow the world around us seems to be in this thought process that we need to move on from having lost someone in the family, or they assume that okay, now this woman who was struggling and suffering and holding the family um, back from doing normal things is no more. So now the family is free and they get to do whatever they want. They get to live their life out and they're going to be happy now, is somehow the notion that I get from people. And it just saddens us to see that the world has just so easily and quickly forgotten that we are still grieving the loss of my mother. It hasn't been easy for us. The journey has been very, very difficult. Um, my dad has been mentioning that he has been having dreams and difficult times to sleep. My sister mentions that, yeah, she's having a tough time to sleep as well. I struggle to sleep because I keep reliving 22nd and 23rd of September, and the way the whole thing went after. So we are not normal. Nevertheless, we are somehow forced to survive, and to survive, we need to do some things that are required, which is thinking about work, thinking about other things in life. But that does not mean that we have stopped, feeling that void in our lives, that we have stopped missing our mother, or that we are completely over it. First of all, the funeral is such a chaotic time. We had no idea about the number of people who came. We were just in a different world. Nothing seemed real to us. We were really struggling at every second or moment that we saw the mortal remains of my mother in front of us, not able to accept the reality that we were facing. So that was a difficult moment for us. So there was so much that we did not really remember. And sometimes I do get memories of what happened on that day. And I've attended a number of funerals, and I strongly believe that even if you're not at a wedding or at a happy moment in someone's life, it is important to stand by them during their difficult moments. And funerals are something that we can all stand by each other, or at least by the ones who we say that we love or we care for. During these moments, I have been naive at many occasions where I've said things which are not important or not needed during that funeral. Some of the things that most commonly we say is, it's okay, she's in a better place now. Um, she has suffered enough, or you need to be strong. You're the next one who's supposed to take care of your father and mother and all of that. As much as all of that is true, the moment and the time at which all of this is said is somehow not very helpful. And I realized that when I was in that state of having lost my mother, and so many people coming and talking to me. Some of them came and told me that, I lost my mother too, and it's been 15 years now or 20 years now, so it is okay, you will be fine. Yes, we will be fine. And sometimes, we are not ready at that moment to think about the future. Um, when it comes to Christians or believers who come to encourage, you know, even though there are so many things that we can say from the Bible to encourage a fellow believer, the Bible also says that be very scarce with your words and use it wisely, and sometimes hold back from saying that which is not needed at that moment. And I strongly believe that that helps. Sometimes a ear that listens or just silence will help. If you think about Job's story, we see that, when he lost his wealth, his money, his children, everything that he had, his friends left him, his family left him. And he had these three friends who said that they loved him, and they did show that they love him. And they did that by coming and just sitting with him for 7 days without saying a word. Now, that is very difficult for us because we are always used to saying things. We think by saying something we can bring comfort to them, or by saying something we can change the situation. But I have realized that during a funeral, just the presence of someone just sitting by you, maybe, feeling what I am feeling, maybe not to the gravity to which I feel, but just trying to feel what I feel and just empathizing with me helps. And that plays a huge role. So that's something that I wanted to say. The other thing I wanted to mention is, don't make it about yourself. You are at a funeral because of the person who's passed on meant something to you, or the family members mean something to you. Do not make it about yourself. You know, don't go there to say, I went and I said a word of console, but he didn't respond back properly to me. Maybe someone has come and told me that, don't worry, we are there with you. And I wasn't at a moment to acknowledge them because all I wanted was my mother. And my focus might have been on her. So don't take it personal. Don't make it about yourselves. And even during, this entire process, there can be moments where the grieving family can offend someone. I'm sure I might have offended someone. I offended my cousin, I'm sure, because out of good faith, my cousin came and said, how are you doing? And I said, oh, I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking, in a very sarcastic tone. And my cousin was taken aback because I knew that, he felt bad with my tone and the way I came across. And I didn't really mean to offend him, but usually you ask this question of, how are you? And we always say, oh, I'm fine, I'm okay. And the question, how are you, came across to me that way. And I really snapped at him. So trying to be as understanding as possible during that situation is very, very important. The next thing is post the funeral. For the first few days, like maybe a week or two, you have people flooding in, you have people coming in. There's excess amount of food available because everyone's offering and all of that. What happens after that? We need to understand that there is no such thing as getting over the loss of a loved one. We cope to live in their absence, but we never get over them. So the struggle is very much real. The coping will increase and develop, but the struggle remains. The other important thing that just kind of popped out to me and stood out was, we say the loss of a loved one, loss of love. So at that moment, the only thing that we all need, which we seem to have lost, is love. So if you're a family member, if you're a friend, you come there with love. Come and give love. And that is very, very important. We as Indians have made this a habit of fulfilling duties. My duty as an uncle or an aunt or a fellow believer from church is to go and pay my respect, and I've done it and my duty is over. I don't care how the family is doing after that. And it is very, very unfortunate. We are experiencing it. I'm very grateful to some of them on some of you who I've connected through YouTube and Instagram. I don't know you all personally, but then most of you all ask how I'm doing. And it is such an encouragement. And I'm so grateful to you. The other thing is, I take my inspirations and my learnings from the Bible. And the Bible in Matthew 25 talks about how God is going to separate the sheep from the goat. And all of that is based on your actions in love, taking care of the poor and giving them food, visiting people in the prison, taking care of the widow, giving shelter to the homeless, being kind. So all of these activities are based on love. And Proverbs chapter 3 verse 27 says, "Do not withhold good from those who deserve it or those who need it." So if you think that a phone call is a good deed that can encourage me and change my day and my life, then do it. Don't withhold from doing it. And I have seen so many people who are out there, where there are cameras or social media or a big gathering, or in front of people who want to pray, who want to encourage, who want to show that they are so godly, but unfortunately are living a hypocritical life when they don't actually do it in their personal lives. I am very saddened by a few of these Christian leaders who are very, very well known, at least in this side of the country. I know them personally. I have been messaging them or giving them updates on how mom was, and in the last few days we were desperate. And I remember sending out messages to them saying, "Pastor, can you come home and pray? Mommy needs encouragement," because mommy was saying, "I can't do it anymore. ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಣೋ, ನನ್ಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ತಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೋವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ." She kept saying, and I wanted to encourage her. So I thought maybe if there are pastors who come and encourage her, she will be encouraged. She will have that zeal. She will have that desire to continue fighting. And they said, "I will send in my assistant pastors." But those very people I see in inaugurations of businesses, inaugurations of homes, housewarming ceremonies, it's very, very sad. But I'm also very, very grateful for those few faithful servants of God who took the time out to come and pray with mommy, encourage her, stand by us as a family even after mommy passed away. And these are the things that I want to encourage us to learn to do. It is very important that during times of a family grieving, we, the body of Christ, need to come together and help one another. Among faith, hope, and love, love is the greatest. You might have faith, you might have hope of the future, but all of it is in existence only because of love. And we need to execute that, and we need to live it out. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So if you want others to stand by you, be there in your difficult times, you go and stand by them, be with them in their difficult times. One last thing. Prayer is most important. Don't pray for somebody. I have a lot of people who come and every time I bump into them, they say, "Oh, I've been praying for you." So why don't you just pick the call and just pray for me over the call, auntie or uncle? Pray with me than for me. That is something that will really help. Pray with people. If there's a family that's grieving, pray with them. And one visit to their home just to fulfill your duty is not enough. Absolutely not enough. That doesn't mean you nag them either, but we can always be there more than required. So these are the things I want to leave with you all. From my learning, my experiences, all that I say is what I believe in and what has helped my life, and I'm sure it will help your life as well. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. I will see you all in the next few videos, which is in line to the questions you all have been asking, in line to Miriam, the upcoming wedding, and various other things. So thank you and blessings to you all. God bless.